It is not metal, it is not paper, it is not even real. And yet, it rules everything. It decides what we eat, where we live, how we spend our time, who rises to power, and who is left behind. People have killed for it, died for it. They've built empires and watched them fall. This is the story of money, the idea that built cities, collapsed nations, and reshaped the very soul of humanity. Not just coins, not just bills, but belief. Because at its core, money only works if we all agree it does. How nothing became everything. It began long before banks, before coins, before gold. It began with trust. In the earliest human communities, people traded what they had for what they needed. A goat for grain, a pot for firewood. But barter became burdensome. What if no one wanted your goat today? What if your fish spoiled before you found a trade? People needed something more, a way to store value, to measure worth, to hold a future in their hands. And so the first money appeared: shells, feathers, salt, cattle, objects that didn't spoil, things that everyone agreed had value, even if they didn't need them. Why? Because they believed someone else would take them later. That belief was the spark. From it rose something new, something powerful, symbolic exchange. Money wasn't just trade anymore. It was a language, a code for trust, a shared illusion. That allowed strangers to cooperate, and the more people believed in it, the more powerful it became. It wasn't long before money became power. Around 600 BCE, in a small kingdom called Lydia, in what is now Turkey, someone minted the first true coin, stamped with a lion, forged from electrum, a natural blend of gold and silver. It wasn't just beautiful, it was official. Because now, money didn't just carry value, it carried authority. These weren't just coins, they were messages. A king's face carved into silver said, "You can trust this, I guarantee its worth." It was propaganda you could hold in your hand. Empires caught on fast. The Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, they all realized the same truth. To control money was to control people. Taxes were paid in coins. Soldiers were paid in coins. Roads, temples, and warships, all built with them. And since kings minted the coins, they decided who got them, who kept them, and who went hungry. Every coin was a tool of power, a symbol of reach, of control. And when an empire fell, its currency fell with it. In ancient Rome, emperors began debasing the currency. They mixed cheaper metals into silver coins to pay debts, to fund wars, to buy loyalty. At first, no one noticed. But over time, the coins grew lighter, less shiny, less trusted, and trust, once broken, is hard to restore. Inflation soared, prices spiked, people stopped saving coins and started hoarding food. And as the Roman economy collapsed, so did the illusion of value. The empire didn't just fall to enemies. It crumbled from within, rotted by its own money. Money, once a symbol of unity, had become a weapon, but the idea didn't die. It evolved. Next came a new kind of belief, one even stranger, not in gold, not in silver, but in paper. At first it looked like a joke, a scrap of parchment, a line of ink, a signature, but it could buy you bread, a house, even an army. Paper money. No one trusted it at first. How could something so flimsy hold real value? But kings and merchants had a problem. Coins were heavy, dangerous to move, easy to steal, so they wrote promises instead. "I owe you this much gold, redeemable at my vault." These promises became banknotes, and for a time, they worked. As long as the paper could be exchanged for something real, gold, silver, grain, people believed. But slowly the gold disappeared, and yet the paper kept flowing. Governments discovered a new kind of power. They didn't need to mine wealth anymore. They could print it. This was fiat money, from the Latin, because the government said so, because people agreed to believe. But belief is fragile. In 18th century France, a Scottish gambler named John Law became finance minister. He flooded the economy with paper notes. At first, prosperity, then a bubble. Then, panic. People rushed to exchange their paper for gold. There wasn't enough. The system collapsed. It happened again and again. Tulip mania in the Netherlands, the South Sea bubble in Britain, the stock market crash of 1929. Every time it went, the same story. Faith, growth, greed, collapse. Because money is only as real as the story we tell about it. And yet, we kept believing. Because without money, modern life stops. No hospitals, no governments, no salaries, no systems. We don't use money because it's real. We use it because we must. When money breaks, so does the world. 1789. France. Bread prices soared, not because there was no bread, but because paper money was worthless. The poor starved, the rich feasted, and the streets erupted. The French Revolution wasn't just about liberty. It was about hunger, debt, a broken system that served gold-plated elites while millions suffered in rags. Money, or the lack of it, had cracked the foundation. Across the Atlantic, a new nation was rising, the United States, built on ideals of freedom, but haunted by the same questions. How do you create money without corruption, without tyranny? In 1913, the Federal Reserve was born, America's central bank, a quiet power behind the curtain, invisible hands guiding the economy. Some called it stability, others, control. Then came 1929. Wall Street was flying high. Speculation, credit, greed. And then, the crash. Fortunes vanished. Banks closed. Families lost everything. Men once holding stocks now stood in breadlines, ashamed, broken. It wasn't just a financial collapse. It was a collapse of faith. Because when money dies, so does the story we tell ourselves about order, progress, and power. And yet, money survived. It always does. But something had changed. People began to ask, who controls money? Who benefits from it? And what happens when belief is manipulated? Those questions would echo louder through the next century. The 20th century ended not with gold, but with code. Money left our hands and entered the screen. First came plastic, credit cards, debit cards, a swipe, a beep, and value moved, like magic. Then came banks with no buildings, markets with no borders, billions exchanged in milliseconds. And still, we trusted it. But in 2008, the system cracked again, a global collapse. Banks failed, jobs disappeared, entire nations fell into crisis. And once more, we asked, is this system real or just another illusion? One crash away from chaos? That same year, in the shadows of the internet, a new idea was born, a white paper, authored by someone or something named Satoshi Nakamoto. And in it, a vision, money without rulers, value without borders, trust without banks. It was more than an idea. It was a revolution. They called it Bitcoin, digital, decentralized, unstoppable. At first, no one noticed. But some saw something strange, a return to the past. Like gold, scarce. Like paper, portable. Like belief, fragile. What if money didn't need governments? What if we could rewrite the rules? Since then, thousands of digital currencies have come and gone. Some faded, some soared. But what is money now? Lines of code, a number on a server, a vote of confidence in something few understand. We send it, we earn it, we chase it. But do we really know what it is? It began with barter, a goat for grain, simple, honest, immediate. Today, a swipe moves millions across oceans in seconds. Money has no value on its own, not in paper, coin, or code. Its power doesn't come from metal or paper. It comes from belief, from all of us, agreeing to play the same game. Money is a story we've told each other for centuries. And like all stories, it can be rewritten. If you like this video, subscribe to The Human's Journey and keep exploring with us.